That's why a lot of these celebrities that start these things, they can't keep up. You know, like the Meghan Markle.
Heckled on stage. She was laughed at on stage.
But you're the same.
You're the same.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
How do I protect my audience from all my trolls? How do I make sure they're not reading the truth about me? That's why I turn comments off.
Like, guys, you don't got to do this. Please, I'm begging you to stop.
Even speak English. The words harms and learns, they do not exist.
I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
Specials. There is no new series. What we're going to get is some crappy Instagram videos on her phone, because With Love is a disaster and As Ever is a disaster.
You just can't keep faking it. It's too hard.
That man loves me so much. And, you know, look what we built. We've built a beautiful life, and we have 2 healthy, beautiful children. If you haven't noticed, my husband.
There isn't a tear in sight. It's an actor's trick.
Don't make yourself cry. Oh, I do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy.
He's very, very handsome.
It's so fake.
This can't be real.
Oh, he's such a great partner.
It sucks.
Are you joking?
It's bad.
It's terrible.
You suck. You suck.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time?
I feel that.
What? Stop.
All of it is fake.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
I don't like it.
Just talking.
Most of Meghan Markle's yacht girl pics have been scrubbed from the internet.
So why did you say yes to doing the show?
Because it's you. And to me, that means
Nonsense. It's stupid.
that I feel that every day in how supportive he's been. He's also a fox.
You're ugly.
It's weird, right?
There was a sex tape about her.
And I saw it.
What do Americans really think of Harry and Meghan? We despise them.
Right?
I get another lecture from you, I'm gonna go crazy.
Oh my gosh, I work so.
Meghan Markle is crying on podcasts, signing gifts with a royal title she lost, and people who work for her keep quitting. But behind the headlines are lawsuits, public outrage, and whispers of a sketchy past. Welcome to the fakest real drama in Hollywood. Meghan Markle sat down with Jamie Kern-Lima, a self-made billionaire and motivational figure, for a 2-hour podcast that promised emotional honesty and vulnerability. What viewers got was something entirely different, a masterclass in performative authenticity that left audiences cringing. The host herself was extraordinarily fake, but Meghan took it to another level. She literally spent portions of her own podcast episode using famous friends to inflate her ego and promote herself. The conversation felt less like an intimate chat and more like a carefully scripted infomercial for brand Meghan. When Meghan spoke about Jamie's show, she gushed about revelations and cosmic connections, claiming to see light around her host. Nobody talks like that in real life. Nobody acts like that, because it's bizarre behavior that signals something deeply inauthentic is happening. Then came the tears, or rather, the performance of tears. Meghan dabbed her eyes and appeared to choke up while discussing the immense pressure she faces. But eagle-eyed viewers immediately noticed something off. There weren't any actual tears, just the theatrical gesture of wiping away emotion that didn't exist. Social media exploded. Critics quickly resurfaced an old video where Meghan jokingly demonstrated her ability to cry on command, producing a single tear from her left eye in mere seconds. Suddenly, her podcast breakdown looked less like genuine emotion and more like an actress falling back on old tricks. The contrast was damning. Years ago, Meghan had proudly showcased the skill as a party trick. Now, she expected audiences to believe her tears were authentic expressions of pain. Just when the initial controversy began to fade, body language expert Scott Rouse entered the conversation, and his professional analysis only threw gasoline on the fire. Rouse meticulously dissected Meghan's nonverbal communication during the podcast, pointing out constant blinking, mismatched facial expressions, and critical moments where her physical gestures completely contradicted her spoken words. These nonverbal leaks, as he called them, are textbook indicators of psychological discomfort or outright deception. What struck Rouse most was the disconnect between Meghan's voice and her body. When she spoke about emotional struggles and personal pain, her face remained oddly composed and controlled. The emotion was audible in her vocal tone, but completely absent from her physical expression. That kind of disconnect doesn't happen naturally. It happens when someone is consciously performing rather than genuinely feeling. One particularly revealing moment came when Meghan was asked about her marriage. Her verbal answer was enthusiastically positive, but her body told a different story. A slight shoulder shrug accompanied her yes, and her voice pitched unnaturally high, both signs of stress and potential dishonesty according to Rouse's analysis. When we're stressed or lying, our larynx constricts slightly, raising our vocal pitch. It's an involuntary physiological response that's nearly impossible to control. And Meghan exhibited exactly that pattern when discussing her supposedly perfect marriage. Rouse's breakdown reignited the online debate and transformed how people watched Meghan. Audiences weren't just listening to her words anymore, they were scrutinizing every micro-expression, every gesture, every tiny physical tell that might reveal the truth beneath the performance. But the podcast oddities didn't stop there. Meghan revealed that she writes nightly emails to both of her children, emails they won't read for years, stored away until they're 16 or 18 years old. On the surface, this sounds sweet. A loving mother preserving thoughts and memories for her children to discover later. But think about it for more than 5 seconds, and the whole thing becomes deeply weird. These aren't occasional letters marking special moments. These are daily emails, potentially thousands upon thousands of messages, all saved up to be dumped on her kids when they're teenagers. Because that's exactly what every 18-year-old wants. 40,000 emails from their mother waiting to be read. The stated purpose of these emails is so that when her children come of age, they can look back and see how much she loved them. But critics heard something else entirely. A mother so obsessed with controlling her own narrative that she's literally creating a curated archive of her parenting to present to her children later. It's not about the kids. It's about Meghan. It's about ensuring that even her own children see her the way she wants to be seen, as this devoted, sacrificial, perpetually loving mother. There's no room for them to form their own memories or perspectives. She's pre-writing the story for them. The whole thing reeks of narcissism, this compulsive need to document and control how she's perceived, even by her own family. Most parents just parent. They don't create massive email archives designed to prove their devotion years later. Then came the moment that perfectly encapsulated everything wrong with Meghan's current situation. During the podcast, a photo appeared showing a gift basket Meghan had given to Jamie Kern-Lima, complete with a handwritten note. The card was signed, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. There's just one massive problem with that. Meghan isn't allowed to use that title anymore. When she and Harry stepped back from royal duties and moved to the United States, they forfeited the right to use Her Royal Highness. That was part of the deal. But here she was using it anyway, not in public where she might get called out immediately, but in private with friends. And somehow that makes it even more pathetic. She's not trying to leverage the title for business or publicity. She's using it in personal correspondence because she genuinely can't let it go. This is the confirmation critics needed. Meghan Markle is absolutely obsessed with being royal. That's what this whole thing has always been about for her. She's furious that she lost access to the institution after the racism allegations and the explosive exit from the UK. She wanted to have it both ways, be a royal when it suited her, and be a private citizen when that was more convenient. The British public certainly noticed. Polling shows that an overwhelming 2/3 of Brits want Harry and Meghan formally stripped of their titles, entirely. They're tired of watching the couple trash the monarchy while still clinging to royal prestige for commercial gain. The contradiction is infuriating to people. You can't spend years publicly attacking an institution, calling it racist and toxic and outdated, and then still sign your personal notes with titles from that same institution. Pick a side. Either you're done with the royals or you're not. This desperate middle ground just makes you look delusional. The backlash against Harry and Meghan isn't just coming from random internet commenters anymore. The monarchy itself is feeling genuine pressure to act, and the public is demanding consequences. A recent poll showed that 97% of respondents believe King Charles should formally revoke Harry and Meghan's royal titles. That's not a slim majority, that's a complete consensus. The British people have had enough. The rules were always clear. You can't use your HRH designation, you can't trade on the word royal, and you absolutely cannot be half in and half out of the institution. That's exactly what Harry and Meghan wanted. All the prestige with none of the responsibility, and they were told no. So far, King Charles has avoided direct confrontation with his son. He's taken a softer approach, possibly hoping that time and distance will resolve things naturally. But insiders say Prince William won't be so forgiving when he eventually takes the throne. William views his brother's behavior as a fundamental betrayal, and he's reportedly prepared to sever ties completely to protect the crown's reputation. The situation has escalated beyond a simple family dispute. This is now a national spectacle, a constitutional question about what the monarchy stands for and who gets to benefit from its legacy. Harry hasn't helped his own case. He spent the past several years complaining publicly about security concerns, demanding that his father fund royal-level protection for his family in California. When that request was denied, Harry blamed everyone: the king, the institution, the British government, everyone except himself. The audacity is staggering. He won't pay for his own security, but he expects the royal family to foot the bill even though he walked away from his duties. He lost that battle in court, and his public whining about it only made him look more entitled and out of touch. Adding to the tragedy is the timing. King Charles is currently battling cancer, and instead of supporting his father during a health crisis, Harry is publicly criticizing him and leveraging his illness for sympathy in interviews. That's crossed a line even for people who were initially sympathetic to Harry's position. Meanwhile, Meghan has been desperately trying to reinvent herself as a lifestyle entrepreneur, and it's been an unmitigated disaster from start to finish. Her brand, initially called American Riviera Orchard, was quietly rebranded to As Ever after the original name failed to gain traction. But the new name immediately ran into legal problems. Several small businesses were already using it, creating potential trademark conflicts. Then came an even more embarrassing revelation. The logo for Meghan's brand looked suspiciously similar to the official coat of arms from a town in Spain. Whether it was intentional copying or just remarkably poor research, it opened Meghan up to potential legal action and made her look amateurish. The actual product launches have been equally problematic. Items would sell out in 30 minutes, and Meghan's team would trumpet this as proof of massive demand and success. But investigators quickly discovered that only tiny batches had been produced in the first place. It's easy to sell out when you've only manufactured 100 units. This artificial scarcity was a transparent attempt to generate hype and create the illusion of a successful brand. But consumers saw through it immediately. They weren't impressed, they were insulted. Meghan's podcast, which was supposed to be her big return to media, fell off the charts after just a few episodes. Critics panned the content as self-indulgent and boring. Her Netflix cooking show, With Love Meghan, was not a success either critically or commercially. Everything she touches seems to fail, and yet she keeps launching new projects with the same inflated sense of confidence. She wants to be the next Gwyneth Paltrow, building a lifestyle empire that makes her wealthy and influential. Instead, she's becoming a cautionary tale about celebrity overreach and the dangers of believing your own hype. Just when things couldn't possibly get more chaotic, Meghan's Netflix show may have sparked a serious legal nightmare that could cost her millions. A woman from Maryland named Robin Patrick claims that a DIY bath salt recipe featured on Meghan's show caused her severe chemical burns and ulcers. Patrick is diabetic, and she alleges that ingredients in the recipe, specifically arnica and Himalayan salt, created a dangerous mixture that seriously injured her. She's threatening to sue Meghan, Netflix, and their production company Archwell for up to $10 million in damages. This isn't just bad publicity. This is a legitimate legal exposure that could result in massive financial consequences. When you put out wellness advice and DIY recipes without proper medical disclaimers or professional consultation, you're opening yourself up to exactly this kind of liability. And here's the fundamental problem. Meghan positions herself as a lifestyle and wellness expert, but she has no actual credentials in these areas. She's not a nutritionist. She's not a doctor. She's not a licensed wellness coach or esthetician. She's an actress who married into royalty and now apparently thinks that qualifies her to give health and beauty advice to millions of people. The arrogance of that is breathtaking. And now someone has allegedly been seriously hurt because they trusted Meghan's advice. If this lawsuit moves forward and succeeds, it won't just cost Meghan money. It will completely destroy whatever credibility she has left in the lifestyle space. No one will trust her products or recommendations ever again. But perhaps the most persistent controversy surrounding Meghan Markle has nothing to do with her current behavior. It's about her past, specifically the years before she became the Duchess of Sussex, when she was a struggling actress trying to make it in Hollywood. One of the most explosive rumors is that Meghan worked as a yacht girl, a term used to describe women who are hired to attend exclusive parties on private yachts owned by wealthy elites. These aren't innocent networking events. The implication is that these women provide companionship and entertainment in exchange for money, gifts, and connections. Multiple sources have claimed that Meghan attended such events early in her career. There are reports that she was invited to a yacht week in Croatia in 2016, and even more disturbing allegations that she may have been on Jeffrey Epstein's yacht at the same time as Prince Andrew. No definitive proof has ever surfaced to confirm these allegations, but the rumors refuse to die. They keep circulating in certain circles, feeding suspicions that Meghan's rise wasn't just about talent or luck. It was about strategic social climbing and knowing exactly which powerful men to befriend. Then there's the claim about her relationship with Prince Harry. Meghan has publicly stated multiple times that before she started dating Harry, she never Googled him and didn't know much about the royal family. She wanted people to believe their meeting was organic and genuine, that she fell in love with the man rather than the prince. But people who knew her tell a different story. One source claims that Meghan's ex-husband said she had a vision board with Prince Harry's photo on it, suggesting she had identified him as a target long before they actually met. Her old blog posts also reveal a fascination with royal culture, with British aristocracy, with the lifestyle and glamour of that world. This wasn't someone who stumbled into royalty by accident. This was someone who had studied it, dreamed about it, and possibly planned for it. Whether these allegations are true, exaggerated, or complete fabrications, they've created a permanent cloud of suspicion around Meghan. People look at her calculated media moves, her strategic friendships, her seemingly scripted emotions, and they see someone who has always been playing a long game. Meghan's early career only adds fuel to these suspicions. Before she landed her role on Suits, she was a briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal, standing on stage and revealing clothing, smiling, and holding a case while saying nothing. Years later, Meghan would complain about being objectified on that show, positioning herself as a victim of the entertainment industry's sexism. But critics pointed out the obvious. Nobody forced her to take that job. She knew exactly what it entailed, and she did it anyway because it paid the bills and kept her in front of cameras. There's nothing inherently wrong with that work, but the hypocrisy is what bothers people. Meghan has built her current brand on feminist empowerment and fighting objectification, but she was happy to participate in that system when it benefited her career. Now she wants to rewrite history and pretend she was always above it. The same pattern shows up throughout her pre-royal life. Reports suggest she was a regular at Soho House locations, where she networked with wealthy and powerful men. Some sources claim she was hired to walk VIPs and fill out red carpets at exclusive events, essentially functioning as attractive background decoration for elite parties. Again, there's nothing criminal about any of this, but it paints a picture of someone who understood exactly how to use her looks, her charm, and her strategic social skills to climb ladders that would normally be inaccessible. She latched onto the first rich or famous guy she could find, dated strategically, maintained connections obsessively, and always kept her eyes on the next rung up. Some people call that ambition. Others call it something much less flattering. The characterization that keeps emerging is of Meghan as a social climber who saw Prince Harry not as a person to love, but as an opportunity to seize. A golden ticket to permanent fame, unlimited wealth, and global relevance that could never be taken away. Except it was taken away because she couldn't play by the rules required to keep it. The situation reached a new level of mainstream awareness when Joe Rogan addressed it on his podcast, and he did not hold back. Rogan mocked Meghan's continued use of royal titles, calling it desperate and delusional. He pointed out the fundamental contradiction. You can't spend years trashing an institution, calling it racist and toxic, and then still sign your name with titles from that same institution. Pick a lane, Rogan said. Either you're done with them or you're not. But this halfway thing where you want all the prestige and none of the work, that's just pathetic. Rogan also brought up the fake crying, the body language analysis that had gone viral, and the general sense that everything Meghan does is calculated for maximum attention and sympathy. He described her as a walking PR campaign, where every tear, every interview, Every product launch is designed specifically to keep her in headlines. And he pointed out what many people were thinking. The public is finally seeing through it. The performance is becoming too obvious. The contradictions are piling up too high to ignore. Rogan's commentary resonated because he was saying what millions of people had been thinking but couldn't articulate. He stripped away the polite language and the careful political correctness and just called it what it is: a calculated, cynical attempt to maintain relevance and profit from victimhood. The episode went massively viral, racking up millions of views and generating thousands of comments from people who agreed with his assessment. The tide of public opinion has officially turned against Meghan Markle, and even mainstream figures like Rogan feel comfortable calling her out now. Here's the ultimate irony in all of this: the controversy itself is exactly what Meghan wants. As long as people are talking about her, even if they're criticizing her, she remains relevant. She stays in the conversation. The problem is that this isn't the kind of relevance that translates into actual success. Her podcast failed spectacularly. Her lifestyle brand is struggling and plagued by legal issues. Her Netflix projects have been critically panned and ignored by audiences. The only thing she successfully built is a reputation as someone who cannot be trusted. Someone who performs emotion rather than feeling it. Someone who will say or do anything to maintain her position in the spotlight. Meghan wanted to be the modern Princess Diana, beloved worldwide, influential, a genuine icon who used her platform for good. Instead, she's become a cautionary tale about unchecked ambition, narcissism, and what happens when you believe your own mythology. The fake tears, the title obsession, the lawsuits, the questions about her past, it's all catching up to her now. The public has a long memory and access to endless receipts. You can't rewrite history when video evidence of your contradictions is just a Google search away. So the real question isn't whether Meghan's tears were genuine. The question is whether anyone still cares. The woman who claimed she only wanted privacy has built an entire media empire on public complaints. The woman who criticized the royal family for being rigid, traditional, and cruel can't let go of a title that isn't even legally hers anymore. And as the lawsuits pile up, as the business ventures fail, as body language experts dissect every micro-expression, and the public grows increasingly weary, one truth becomes undeniable. Meghan Markle's biggest role wasn't Rachel Zane on Suits. It's this, the perpetual victim. The wrong Duchess. The woman who seemingly had everything handed to her and still managed to lose it all while blaming everyone else for her failures. She wanted to be royalty without the rules. She wanted to be famous without the scrutiny. She wanted to control her narrative without anyone questioning the contradictions. But the curtain is falling. The audience is walking out of the theater. And this time, no performance, no matter how practiced, no matter how tear-stained, is going to bring them back. Joe Rogan said it perfectly: you can't have it both ways. You can't trash the institution and then cling to its titles for prestige. You can't claim you want privacy and then launch a dozen media projects. You can't play the victim forever. Eventually, people stop caring. And that's exactly what's happening to Meghan Markle right now. The world has moved on. The sympathy has evaporated. The benefit of the doubt has been exhausted. All that's left is a woman desperately trying to stay relevant in a world that's tired of her act. And the harder she tries, the more transparent it becomes. The more she performs, the more obvious the performance is. The backfire is complete. The game is over. And Meghan Markle has no one to blame but herself.